Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, today we're going to start my series on Project 2025. Over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to focus on a few pieces of Project 2025 and lay out kind of what they're aiming to do. Now, in this first video, we're just going to discuss what it is and what it's not, and some of what it's aiming to do. Now, Project 2025 has also been known as the Mandate for Leadership. It's also known as Agenda 47 if you check out Donald Trump's social media pages, like over on Rumble, and even at one point on his website. But if you go through it, you'll see a whole laundry list of things that are exactly identical to Project 2025, something that Donald Trump swears he knows nothing about. Now, what is Project 2025? Well, Project 2025 is a vast restructuring of the way America works. It's literally a far right-wing Christian nationalist plan for Christian nationalist dictatorship in America. Now, people on the right are going to be like, oh, that's not true. That's not what it is at all. But that's exactly what it is. What it's not is a complete workup of their plans. Now, Project 2025 was created by the Heritage Foundation, a far right-wing think tank who want to change the complete fabric of this country and everything that we've grown to believe in here in the United States. Project 2025 is a blueprint of how they want to get that done. And this would start with the first president, or first Republican president, i.e. Donald Trump, to get the ball rolling for what they want. Now, the leader of the Heritage Foundation has gone on a podcast and stated that they have started the second U.S. Revolution, and that it will remain peaceful and bloodless if the left allows it. Here's the thing. It's not just the left that are going to have a problem with Project 2025 when you get into the bells and whistles and the nuts and bolts of it all. Because this affects everybody all the way down the line. It takes away women's rights. It aims to ban abortion across the entire nation. It has terrible ideas on what to do about disabled people. Not to mention everything that it says about families and how basically demonizing the LGBTQ community even further than they already have, and wanting to make people like myself illegal. It lays the blueprints. It lays the groundwork to put LGBTQ people in prison and in prison camps. And that's where it gets kind of connected to Agenda 47 and Donald Trump. Because within his Agenda 47, he says he wants to put trans people in prison. So the connections are there. In Agenda 47, he talks about banning abortion nationwide. Project 2025 does the same. And we'll get into more about the why. It's a idea for dictatorship in America. But one thing I will mention here. The Project 2025 allows the president to fire anybody in the government, pretty much. It makes over 50,000 government employees at-will employees that the president can just fire at the drop of a hat. So as president, if this plan was to go into action and come to fruition, somebody like Donald Trump would be able to fire everybody at the National Weather Service, fire everyone at the CDC, fire everyone at the FDA, and replace them with loyalists to Trump. If that sounds a bit like a banana republic, you're not far off, right? Project 2025 is a terrible, terrible plan for America. And it goes against everything that we've really stood for at least the last 100 years. It aims to make Christianity the only religion. It aims to make women baby factories. And as we get into the series, we'll get into more of these things, and I will try to discuss the best I can what it could have effects for you, myself, or anyone else in this country. Because this fundamentally alters America. This is one reason your vote matters so much this November. So as we get into this Project 2025 and the evils that it can bring to America, remember how important that vote is. Doesn't matter what state you live in, but especially if you live in some of those swing states, you need to get out there and vote. And if you're like me and you do not support basically the destruction of the America as we know it, then I suggest you vote for Kamala Harris. Now, initially, I didn't want Kamala Harris. I wasn't going to vote for Kamala Harris because I didn't think she even had a chance to win. But knowing how bad Project 2025 is, as I dig further into it, the more I understand that we have to pick Kamala Harris as our VP. Not only will she be a good fit for America, not only will she do a good job for America, she won't allow something like Project 2025 to take root. Because what happens when Trump appoints somebody to the National Weather Service that's a loyalist to him, when he says there's not a hurricane coming? And he goes on national TV and sharpies the hurricane going the opposite direction as it's aiming for New Orleans or aiming for New York in the Northeast or any other part in this country because he's scared it's going to hurt his re-election campaign. We already saw what happened at the CDC, even though he didn't control the CDC. But we saw how he handled COVID. What happens if he's replaced the head of the CDC with a Trump loyalist when another pandemic comes around? Are they going to ignore it and not do any kind of testing because he said not to test? That's exactly what he'll be doing. He'll find a way to ban vaccines because, according to him and his new friend RFK, they cause autism. They don't. They don't by any stretch of the imagination. It's been debunked over and over again. But these are just a few of the things that Project 2025 would do. And for me right now, the scariest part of Project 2025 is just that. The fact that he could turn 50,000 government workers, scientists, doctors into at-will employees that have to vow loyalty to Donald Trump. And if they don't, they get fired and replaced with somebody that has no talent at all. That's not even fit for the job. I mean, look what he did when Trump took office. He took a brain surgeon and made him head of the what? Oh, that's right. The Housing and Urban Development Department. Yeah, that was smart. Ben Carson should have been the Attorney General, or not, I mean, the Surgeon General, not the freaking director of HUD. That was ridiculous. But like I said, over the course of the next few weeks, I plan to bring you more videos about Project 2025 and what it aims to do. So I hope you'll watch. I plan to have them coming out on Fridays over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see how many I end up making total. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you'll join me for the rest of this series, and I'll see you down the road.